Hi everyone, it's Lee here. Thank you for joining me again. So I've got my altered book out again, and let me just explain something about this book. So this is one that I found when I was doing my cleanup. I'd forgotten that I'd even started it. I probably started it a couple of years ago, and it was before I knew anything at all about altering books. And when I've been removing the pages, you can see what that looks like. It's a dog's breakfast in there. I've torn out like 20-30 pages in some instances in between. So not good, because you can't then join these two pages. Well, these two I could, but the idea would be, if you were going to reduce the amount of pages properly, you would have a page here. You would take out probably maybe 8 to 10 pages, and you've got another one, and you join them together and you'd have a nice flat little spine in there. But I didn't do that with this one. As I said, I knew nothing about altered books at the time. I'd seen other people doing them. I thought, I want to do that, and I went ahead and I started doing this one. So the other day when I found it, I thought I'll do another spread in it. I know I can't do anything about the pages being taken out wrong, but I can give the book a bit of love and maybe finish it off and show you some things along the way. So my original thought had been that this book would be like a succession of groups of pages, something like this. So we had a small, a medium, and a large cutout, something like that, and then another garden-y type page. So I'm sort of not really going to do that, but what I am going to do is just fill it with mixed media, and it will be things with a floral or nature-based theme. Now, in my previous video when I did this page, and I did show you this, someone wanted to know how I made those cutout pages. So I just want to quickly tell you how to do it, and then I will do one, because there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can use like one image like this. So with this one, I would have to glue it at the bottom. So glue on your page, and then you go back in and do your cutouts. Once the glue is dry. You don't try and cut it while the glue is still wet, because you'll just tear the paper. I've got this handy little A5 cutting mat. Once it was dry, I put that in between the pages, and I went in with a craft knife and I cut out, like on this one I would probably cut all the way along the top, get rid of that top bit there, and then I would go in and cut out sections, bits of the background, just to create something interesting. Some pages work better than others. This would be a really good one for along the bottom. You lose a lot of your page, but that is sort of the way it goes. Can't really put that one upside down, but this one is an upside down one. So these are fuchsias, I think. So that one, you could have them hanging down. And then you haven't got anything underneath, but you'd have that there and you'd be able to see the page behind. Not the best example. This is a good one. Make a great edge. So if you imagine if that was there, and then maybe there was something else above it, like that, you glue them on. You go in and cut along the edge there, and then go back in and cut out some other shapes. So maybe that bit, something in there, something there, something there. So you're basically just taking away the background. And that's another one. So that's a good example, because I've already cut bits of that out. So that would be a great one to put on the page, maybe towards the bottom, so you get that nice shape like that. And what else have we got here? That'd be a nice flower to have on the same page. The colours don't really go that well together, but that doesn't necessarily mean you can't use them. I might even think about cutting that leaf away, but cut along here, down there, and then just cut out. We don't go right to the spine, but just cut out a bit there and a bit there, a bit at the top. So that's what I'm going to do for you today. I'm going to work out what I want to put on this page, and I think flowers work best, but then you can use other things like that sort of image. If you could imagine if that was on there, you could cut along the edge of the flower and down the lady's body, and yeah, so that would be a good one to use, but not in this book. It's too small. Individual flowers, really good for doing this. And I've got a whole book that I cut up. That's where a gardening book it was, and I mean, because you've got individual flowers, you've got the opportunity to get more gaps. That's a nice flower, that one, so that could go nicely on the edge. That one, if that leaf was gone, could sit in there. So you just glue them on and cut in between them. This one, this might even be a good one to separate if you get rid of that middle flower and just have the two, or even just one hanging down. But anyway, I'll make up my mind what I'm going to do. I'll glue that on and then I'll come back and I'll do the cutting. Alrighty, so I've decided to go with these flowers and I've cut them out, and that's the way I'm going to glue them on. So if you can see, I've got all my flowers are going to be touching each other, and it's a bit like when you're cutting a stencil, you need to have little joiners. So by having the flowers touch each other, I can cut that bit out there, whereas if I didn't, the only place I could cut around this flower would be along that edge. Then I'd have that big area of book page. So by putting them touching each other, I'm making those little openings that I can cut away. So I've done that on all of them, and I'm just going to use glue stick to glue this down. So I just want to remind you to hit the like button if you're enjoying the video, so that old Grandad YouTube knows what's going on. I just need something to hold that book down there. It's probably popping up like that because of the way that I tore those pages out. I didn't do myself any favours when I did that, but anyway, I know how to do them properly now, and I will at some point in the future make another one, and I'll show you the proper way of doing it. So I'm just going to put them down, and then I'll glue the rest of these in. Okay, so I'll let that dry. So I'll just show you what I'm going to do when it dries is I'll cut along here, there, and I'll go in there. I'll cut along here, up to that, and then I think I'll decide in the meantime whether I'm going to cut around there. I might cut around there and go along here. I'll have this bit to cut out, I'll have this bit to cut out, and this one here, and then I can make a cut out there and another one here, and I could maybe even do another one there. But I'm going to let that dry to start with, and then I'll pop my little cutting mat in here, and then I'll use a craft knife to take out the excess paper. But I want to make sure that's dry, because if I start mucking around with it now, it's just going to make the glue lift up. Well, I think the glue is dry enough now to do it, so I'm going to cut some of these out first. And what I did off screen was I added this, and this in, just to create some other little lakes, I suppose. They're like lakes, aren't they? Surrounded by land. Yeah, just to, so there wasn't such a big amount of that book page coming out with, you know, like before it was going to be all this was going to get taken out. So now it'll be down here that way, and that'll come out. So I'm just going to use this little craft knife. Be really careful when you're using a craft knife. This one's got a new blade in it, so I'm hoping that it doesn't slip. So I'll just take this first one out and just show you. Oops. So that glue obviously wasn't dry there. Not quite, or I've pulled it up with the knife. Okay. And that's the first one done. And what I did on the other ones was I inked the back around the holes, so I'll do that as well. But so you got your little peekaboo there. So sorry about that. So if this flower was behind, you'd be able to see that, or if it was something else there, you'd see the details. Okay, so I'm going to cut all those recesses out. I'll do all them first before I do the big one down the side. It doesn't matter if there's still a little bit of book page showing, it's fine. Okay, so I'm just going to crack on and do the rest of them. Could probably tidy that up a little bit. Yeah, but you get the gist. I'll be back when I've finished doing that. Okay, so I've nearly got it all cut out. I had to glue down a little bit there. So that was the only bit so far that's come up. And I'm using my scissors to complete this along the side. I'm going to leave that like it is for the moment. Now, I did put in an extra hole somewhere. I think it might be this one. Can't remember. Yeah, I think it's this one. So what I'll do here is, with my scissors, is to cut away. A little pair of scissors works best with this, doing this. And it's easier to turn the book around. I found this when I was doing the cutting on the mat too, to turn the book and the mat and everything, to rather than try and cut at a funny angle. I don't know about anybody else, but I can only sort of cut one way, and I can only like draw a line, like underline things in one direction. So yeah, I just do whatever's making the job easier for me. So you do what you need to do to complete it. And you can see there's little bits book page still showing. I could leave that there, I guess, because it's going to be inked. And then I'll just take this bit off down the bottom here. Like so. And that's our cutout page. Let me just get something to put behind it. I'll just put this behind it so it's plain white. So that's what we've got. Now, I did print this off. It didn't print properly though. And I was thinking about doing another page with this on, but I don't think I will now. But, you know, I kind of like the idea of having something like, maybe even this big butterfly behind it. So that butterfly could be glued onto that page, and then I could cut around that as well. So that's only one thickness there of paper. But anyway, so that's how the cutout page is done. Now you can imagine, I'm just going to get a paper doll to put behind it just so you can see how you can do stuff. Just grab a couple because they're different sizes. I kind of like the idea of faces looking back through these holes. The head's a bit small, I reckon. Oh, she's a charming looking. This one. That might not appeal to everybody, but that appeals to my sense of humour. To have people in there, or you could even have them coming out. You could do that. Put faces behind. Or even with the collage soup books, the ebooks that I bought, you can have like a face, a whole face, actually. Just with that thought in mind. I've got this one that I did actually buy. Can you imagine like one of these ladies behind there? I can't really show that one. It's got to be one on this side of the page. I bet they're all on the other side. I suppose if I turn the book upside down, we can just imagine. Use your imagination. Sorry. Let me just tear that page out. Position it so that her eyes are looking through. I could lift some of that out. Something like that. Or even like that. Or even somewhere on the page where just part of her is covered. I think something like that is really nice. I know it's not everybody's cup of soup. Cup of soup? Cup of tea. Cup of tea, cup of soup. Cup of soup. I know, I sound like I'm advertising for the Continental Company. Yeah, so it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's something that I really like. So even this lady here, and put old cranky grandma down here. Like, they don't have to be completely hidden by the flowers either. They could be out of it. Put her there. fingers won't work today, as well as my brain. I keep losing my glasses. My husband found them for me yesterday and I've lost them again. Something like that, so then when you open up you see them. Yes, so I keep walking away because they're reading glasses. I keep walking away from what I'm doing with them on, and because they're reading glasses I can't see properly while I'm wearing them, unless I'm trying to read something. So I've obviously worn them into another room and taken them off and put them on a shelf or on something, but at the moment they're MIA. And I'm wearing a pair of those store-bought ones, you know, the 1.5s or whatever they are that they sell in the surveys. Alright, that's what that looks like. So that's something I can build on. Another thing I could do is I could paint this page, just paint it just a plain colour, or even just gesso over it. And I've got some other things like a terrarium. I think that's really nice, but it needs to be on a plain background. Yeah, so there's a lot of choices there to do. So that's how the cutouts are done. Inking them was the only other thing I would have done. But if I glue those pages together, I won't be inking them anyway. I did go in and pull out some of this gunk in here, all these bits of page, just to, sorry I'm making the camera shake, just to make it a little bit easier in case I did decide to close that up. So, and I can imagine if I painted this, I don't know, what colour would look good? Green, orange, black, or just white, so that just sits on top of that background. Okay, let me know in the comments what you think, and I'll be back soon to do another page in this book, because I'm really inspired to get a wriggle on and get it finished. And I had a request, or a few requests, how to make these fold outs that I did on day 3 of Junk Journal July. Really easy. So maybe I'll do a page, make one of them, and pop it into this book, you know. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, and stay creative and happy, and hugs and cheers from Australia. Hooroo. Sun. Finishing just in time. Bye.